Hey guys, welcome to my first guide video that I've ever done. This is kind of new to me, so hopefully I can give you some sort of advice. And we'll be starting off with Ashe. I've been playing her a lot lately this season 4. This is at a very high solo queue level. Players in this game are between Diamond 1 and Challenger. That's high Diamond 1, so we're looking at people who are 75 LP plus. We do have Alex and Edward in this game as well, so it's two players that you may notice in this game who are currently in Gambit Gaming. So that just shows the standard of quality that you're expected to see in this game footage. Now, throughout the game, I'll be trying to give out pointers, positioning, and reasons why we're doing things, and also I will not be leaving out my mistakes as well. So hopefully, we will see one or two of my mistakes. I've got a wad of cards here with timestamps on, so hopefully it's going to be a long one, but hopefully you're ready to learn something, and hopefully I can give you that as well. So let's start off the game. You start off with a Doran's Blade and a health potion. It's very standard. The Vayne, on the other hand, has started Doran's Shield, and that's because Ashe has a relatively long auto attack range. Next being Caitlyn, so it's an okay choice. It blocks the physical damage relatively well, and you can see why she took it. It does make last hitting a lot harder though. But here we have Alex, or should I say Zed from now on, Zed getting caught from first blood here. And in fact that gives Vayne 280 gold. So let me put the vision for all for that right now. That does mean that Vayne is able to buy 4 health potions and a rejuvenation bead. I'm not 100% sure why he chose the rejuvenation bead, but the 4 health potions, as you'll see soon, is extremely annoying. We get Vayne down low a lot, and she's just able to chug down health potions. Here is the level 1 cheese. We wait in this bush here. Zill uses the bomb and ignite, and that shoves her down to just over 120 health. Now she's able to use those 4 health potions to then chug and basically get her health back up, as you'll see in the laning phase. Let me see, so notice my positioning here. I'm standing almost in line with the melee minions and spamming my volley. You want to hit volley on both of them, ideally. However, if the AD is full-ish health, then aiming it for the support is perfectly fine. Basically, you just want to chug down their health potions as much as you can. Also, against an engager like Thresh or Leona, the lower their health is, it makes it extremely harder for them to engage, as they don't want to die. And if they were to engage on under 35% health, then they'll die. So let's speed up again. So here we go, just keep volley spamming. Now, one thing to take note of is that when there's only 2 or 3 minions here against a Thresh or an Annie or a Leona, that's when you want to start backing off from the tower. As the minions clear off, it would be easier for Thresh to land a hook onto me, and it's much safer just to back off and just let them have the CS at that point. Just keep farming. This laning phase is fairly standard. Keep spamming volley as much as you can. Zill's doing a good job with bombs. And Vayne has run out of health potions, so she's had to use all 4 health potions right now. And here we're coming up to a very nice, perfect volley. Well, by perfect volley, I mean that this volley is not going to hit any minions, so it's not going to be pushing the lane. And it's going to hit both. It's going to hit both enemy players. So let's put something to 1. Vayne's on extremely low health, including that bomb. We're coming up to a point where we get Vayne very, very low, and she has to use her barrier. This harass just keeps coming out. Zill does a double bomb. almost gets her, leaves her on 40 health. She has to recall. There's no way she can stay in the lane. If she stays in the lane for a volley, then that's it. Now at this point, I have 1,100 gold in my pocket, and we are 16 CS. Wait, that's a lie. That's some really bad maths I just did then. 23 CS ahead of Vayne. However, because of the first blood gold, we're only about 150 gold ahead. Now, here at this point, I don't really want to go back. I could go and get a Vamp Scepter or get some boots. However, my health is relatively high, my mana is okay, and this gives me a very good opportunity to harass Vi. What this enables me to do is when I've been harassing this Vi now when she's been farming in the lane, it allows the other lanes to not have so much pressure on the map. So she's having to run away with one potion in her bag at half health, which means that anywhere she's going to go, she's going to be at risk at Lee's ganking her jungle. And it means that he won't be able to pressure any lanes until he goes back into base. So Vayne's come back into lane with a longsword and another potion. In fact, 3 more potions. And I have in my bag just about enough gold to buy a BF sword. So let's speed this up very slightly here, and here is unfortunately where Zilean gets caught, he uses his flash, still dies, gives Vayne a second kill. So at this point, we've been doing so well in the laning phase. However, Vayne getting those 2 free kills has put things pretty much back on even, so let's just check the gold here. So we're on 2,200 gold for Vayne. Whereas I'm now behind, even though I'm 22 CS ahead, I'm now behind in gold. So that's kind of frustrating at this point. But at this point, he has 2 options. He should have stopped me from freezing this lane here by calming up. I would have had to tank the minions plus tank him. However, he went straight back to buy. He has 1,000 gold in his pocket. This gives me the opportunity to freeze the lane. Another thing to note here, you saw me... Okay, let's slow this down. So as you're tanking the minions, what you want to do is when your lane is coming in here, you want to bring these minions and you want to do a curved shape up to here. If you were to go anywhere near this tower, these minions would die to the tower. If you were to stay standing here, you would take more damage from the minions. So you curve up here until the minions de-aggro. And you got a nice little spot here just to farm. I think I do 1 volley here just to hit 2 minions that are about to die. These minions here. There we go. But generally, freezing it as much as we can. Denying them CS while staying safe. So this laning phase keeps going. Using a hawk shot to see where Violet's. Zil gets hooked, they don't follow. One thing to note here is that I'm level 6. If they were to engage, they would get CC'd and they probably will die. They know that I have a lot of damage with this BF sword. It's not a lot they can do. Elise comes down, but that was warded, so it's all good so far. And another situation here where I get hooked this time. However, level 6, Thresh is level 4, Vayne isn't quite level 6 yet. I think Thresh would have gone in if Vayne was level 6, but she's just a tad off, so it's not worth it. I could have been easily condemned to that wall then and then CC'd quite hard. It would have been a close fight with my arrow. Vayne just hits level 6 here right now. Now here's a very important moment. We have a massive wave here. I am level 7 now, Zilean's level 6, Thresh is level 4. There's massive kill potential here. We have 1 ward here. And without realizing, I knew that from just looking at the mini-map alone, in this position here, you can see that Vi and Gragas are in the mid lane. I Hulk shot here just in case of any randomness that could happen here. Just to make sure there's no one coming. It's unnecessary, but you always want a Hulk shot on this tri-brush if you're blue side. If you're purple side, then this tri-brush here or this bush here is a very good idea to Hulk shot. So there's a very good potential here for us to tower dive with Zill. Land in a volley, get Vayne poked down slightly. Bashing hits in this tower, they know it's coming. Here is a very important moment. Let me just rewind that because you may have just slightly missed that, and I'm going to slow it down to 0.25. Vayne fully engages on me, however I did not have tower aggro. I cancel my auto attack hit just as soon as I get condemned. This means two things. They're using all on me, which means Zill can get ready for the ult, but most importantly, I'm not going to die as fast because I don't have tower aggro. So once we speed up to 0.5, you'll see it in a second. It's coming up here. So Zill does the bomb on Thresh. Thresh is quite low health. Ignite used on Vayne. She's quite low. Condemn. Auto attack cancelled. Hook actually misses me. Vayne pops ulti. Now, at this moment in time, minions are tanking tower. Vayne is extremely low. Just used my passive. Barrier used. Arrow used at the very last moment to keep her in place, so she has barrier and flash. Zill ult used on me, but because I didn't take any tower hits until the very end, didn't need it. It was fine. Fine coverage of his ult. Flash just hanging around. No point hanging around. We don't quite know when Vi's gonna get here. There's no point risking it. Go back for Zill. I think I need a bit more CS. This is probably very slightly greedy, but because Thresh is going back, and I've still got flash, if I can push this as tower, I can deny Vayne some more CS. So I go back here. Three minions got denied there. So just always going to focus on my lane rather than the others. So I'm coming back into lane. Now here, zillion DCs, and here's a mistake that comes up. Now if your partner is not in lane, if he's DC'd or just generally not in lane, has to go back there. Here is a very big mistake you can learn from. They get dragon, which, fair enough, they paid that out quite well. However, here's the mistake I want you to watch. I am by myself here, and I get a bit too greedy for the CS. So I come over for double golems. Elise does them anyway. But here is the moment where I make the mistake. I should have not, for any reason, been at this position here. I may have lost one CS, but there's no reason to be this far out when you've got an engaging support. I do manage to turn this around though. Thresh accidentally goes behind me, so he's not able to block an arrow. If Thresh was in position to block this arrow, I would have died here. So I managed to get the arrow onto Vayne. Now I step forward here because of the stealth, and I have to flash. If I were to be condemned into that wall, I would have died. Overall, in the situation of getting caught, that was a fairly decent escape. However, that's something you need to be aware of. You can't be putting yourself at risk. It's better just to lose a CS or two rather than get the risk of being caught. So now we're fast forwarding to 12:40, and Elise and Zillion are going to take this tower. Now this means two things. Zill is also pushing this wave as well. So you may have saw me on the minimap heading towards bot lane, but as soon as I noticed how Zill was pushing this wave, there's no farm here. Now it's one of two things are going to happen. Vayne is going to just push the lane, which means as soon as I get to roughly here, I'll be heading back bot. Or, because she's so CS starved. There's such a big CS difference, 104 to 57. She's just going to freeze the lane. She's going to freeze the lane at this tower here. So I need to try and push for the objectives. So I start coming up mid up here. And what this does, in showing myself mid, trying to force the lane as it were, it forces Vayne to not be able to freeze the lane. In the moment here you'll see her notice that I'm causing lots of pressure mid here. I'm still mid. It's going to cause her to start spamming auto attacks on these minions. Here we go, there. So that allows me to go to bot lane very soon and go bot. If I were to stay mid, we could have possibly taken the tower down to half health. As Vayne's pushing the lane, however, I'm going to want that CS. Now here is a very big moment that starts to happen. A massive team fight sprawls out at mid. The cause of it was Zed ulting all on Thresh, and then the fight gets really messy. Really messy. I notice this happen, and I'm completely out of position to even get over to her. Vayne is already heading over. She had to back off from. She has no CS to farm. And now is the perfect time to get an arrow. And I notice that they're trying to turn us around here. I do a split glimpse, and you can tell from right now we've got Zed on no health, Zilean ult, probably about to wear off if you're looking at this at a glance. Zilean's going to probably die, and Elise here. So in fact, we've probably got like a 2v3 here in their favour, because I know that Vayne could be anywhere in this area about to join into the fight. So you have to fight. Yeah, you have no choice but to fire out a blind arrow and kind of guess that this is kind of semi-stalemate. It's going to be a bit risky for both teams to follow up. So you want to use it in the area that it's currently located in. If you knew that your team were going to lose really quickly, then you would want to fire it up around here. This arrow actually manages to hit Gragas. Elise unfortunately doesn't see that for a free kill. And in turn she tries to chase down Vi. However, she doesn't get the kill. Vi manages to get a nice escape away. Now here is a very important thing as well. If they were to continue chasing Elise, I didn't want them to have line of sight of me. I wanted them to use a lot to come down, and then me to come out and then just use my auto attack slows, then continue to chase them with my high damage. Because I'm quite fed at this point. I've got a BF sword and a pickaxe, and tier 2 boots to chase down with. So if they were to continue chasing down here, I'm out of line of sight for them to see me, I believe. They can't see me. They know I've finished farming the lane. They can't see me. However, they wisely decide to back off. The pings go down for this bottom tower here. And another mistake happens here. I stupidly decide to go for the next wave. I should have left it at this wave down here and then just gone straight back. Now here is the very risky, extreme risk play that you should never ever do inside a queue. This could have turned out really bad. If I had been hooked, that would not have been worth it for that CS. Okay. Since we're in the same situation that happened last time, Vayne is freezing the lane down here. She's semi-freezing it, she's keeping the minions nearby. You want to force the next objective, and in this case, it's top tower. I fire out an arrow here, kind of pointless. She would have died anyway, it doesn't really matter. The main thing about it at this point I want to make is that you want to force down objectives as fast as you can. At this point, Dragon is respawning. We lost 2 players around here, 2 for 1. We killed Lissandra up top. However, Zilean and Zed died in this bot lane roughly around here. Dragon's about to spawn. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. However, we know that the whole team's bot means another free tower. So it's the free tier 2 tower. Then back off. There's nothing you can do. We just take the tower for the cost of the dragon. It's a lot of cards I have to go through here. We're halfway through. Now we're getting into mid-game team fighting. And at this point, I'm trying to make it clear to my team that Vayne is free farming at this point. She's catching up very slowly in CS. She's getting the farm she wants. And in roughly 1 minute's time we do something about that. So let me speed this up slightly. I do my double golems. I take the red buff. Heading back bot with Elise. Hawk shot to come out just in case anyone's hiding in this tri-bush. They're warding. They have 0 wards around here, so we're quite lucky. Me and Vayne face check into each other. Ashe straight in the face. There's no problem about it. She's dead. 3v1. We'll keep farming. We can get some damage into this tower. Lissandra here gets a really nice kill on me. Zillion gets stunned, so she's unable to ult me. She played that very well. We get the tower down to a nice amount of health. For next time we can get to it, we'll be able to kill that quite easily. Vi tries to ulti, but doesn't able to get it off. So I'm about to respawn, heading down back to bot lane. Elise gets a nice kill on Vayne. Speed us up again slightly. So I'm taking double golems. You want to take those double golems as much as you can, or the white camp if you're on the other side of the map. Now, here I decide that it's not worth pushing up this lane for the CS. That would be extremely greedy. And then a fight rates out once again if you're out of the area of the fight. You want to try and fire out your arrow as fast as possible. Elise runs towards me. Try to get Gragas down, gets away. Thrash is an easier kill. Take that and back off. So now we're pushing down onto this mid tower. Gragas' AP is kind of low at this current moment in time. So he's not able to wave clear the waves as effectively. He doesn't manage to die here. Vayne here though gets caught out quite badly and pretty much just instantly dies. Vayne's positioning this game has kind of been iffy, to say the least. We just kite them back slightly. We need to go back and buy. We've got a lot of gold in the bank. Just got that tower for free. Ping is going for Baron. They thought we were doing Baron. However, the timing that we went back on, we didn't actually have a timer on Drake. So once again, they get a third 3 Drake. We tried to stop it, but there's nothing we can do. So I'm just farming out the jungle slightly. Try and keep up in gold. You want to try and stay with your team as much as possible. So I collect the red buff again. Ashe, people say that, so one thing about regarding the red buff is that sure the slow's not as effective, but it's just that bit extra. And plus Zed is dead, so they could easily invade us and take the red buff. Now here's a very important point that I like to make here, is that this ward here gives an insane amount of vision of when, if they are going to push down. Zed did die relatively over here, so there is a slight threat of them trying to go for Baron or force something. So that gives us an indication of when or if they're going to be doing that. I go back, realise they're not doing anything. Safe to go back there, that's perfectly fine. There's no wave minions coming in just yet, and I'll be there back in time. Okay, let me reverse this slightly. Here we have the biggest game-changing fight in the whole game. Gragas thinks he's being a bit sneaky here. One very, very key thing to note, we're going to put this onto blue side vision. We have a pink here, so we have vision of this entire time. We have a ward here, so we know that they're coming through here. We know that they're grouping up massively around this area here. Elise finds Gragas, lands a really nice stun, and that basically starts off the fight. You may think, well, okay, at the moment of time, you've seen the stun on Gragas, he's out of position, Lantern's already been used, Gragas is gonna die. However, Vayne here is at a very, very nice position here for me to arrow onto. Kennen has been sped up by Zilean, which means I know that he's very likely to flash over this wall if I throw my arrow out and just to ult engage. My arrow fired out, so they don't see it until the very last second. Vayne tries to tumble, she still gets hit. Vayne is now going to get chain CC'd. It's a very nice Kennen ult. Kennen Q actually misses, but Vayne still dies very, very quickly. Vi tries to disengage this by counter-engaging onto me. And to be fair, it was a good try by Vi to try and get me down as fast as you can. I think that was a misclick on the ulti, I'm not sure. I think she may have tried to use on Zil to get away. She failed flash over, she cost it with her life. And this fight just snowballs out of control. Zed goes over, kills Thresh. Gragas has used ulti to try to knock Kennen back. There's no way for them to steal Baron. Unless with Gragas Q, which is extremely unlikely. Kennen's patrolling that area. Lissandra finally joins the fight after being away. I make a very stupid mistake here. After we take Baron, I flash over the wall, take damage instantly from the Zyra ulti. She uses DFG on me and then Qs me. If I didn't flash over, Zed would have died anyway, but it's the fact that I used my flash when you need to flash up to try and get out of situations, and I lose my Baron buff as well. So, I basically traded my death for Zed, but at the cost of my flash, which is definitely not worth it. Let me put the vision back on all, and speed things up very slightly since we've got some death timers. Now here we're coming up to another point where it pretty much definitely just decides the game. So let's speed this up until we get to this point. So I noticed that Vayne had been coming down in here. Zed was already heading in this direction, just a split push. However, I noticed Vayne comes into here and puts herself in a very risky situation. I managed to land a really nice arrow from here. And Zed pretty much just one-shots her without using her ulti. Hawk shot just in case the enemy team's coming. We spot Thresh, kill Thresh with Zed ulti, and makes it into a 3v5. Free tower. Lissandra gets semi-caught, doesn't die for it. Gragas tries to wave clear, unable to, too much risk for him to be able to wave clear. They are about to respawn at this point though, and things get a bit messy around here. I managed to get some nice damage down onto Gragas, dodging his Q. And we're trying to siege. Basically, sieging is where you spam out abilities to try and get the enemies to do two things: back off and take damage. They're all 5 up. Gragas ulti gets used. However, here is where things get really dangerous. Kennen does some very nice zoning on Vayne and Thresh. However, because Vayne isn't too scary right now, it probably isn't the best target to use it on, and it's tower diving. But it's okay, it's no KLT. Zilean manages to get a really nice ulti on me here at the last second. As soon as I hit pretty much no HP, he manages to save me at the cost of his own life. We kill Lissandra. Kennen falls. He doesn't get a kill. I'm about to respawn. We get some free tower hits down. Kite them back a bit. And now here is where it's extremely risky. I fire my arrow out at the split second, and Zed hits his ult as soon as Vi dedicates herself to go in. She dies. Now this gives us a slight edge in this next bit that comes up. We have 2 people on very low health. However, one thing to note that all three of us have kiting potential. Gragas, I have to use my barrier here. There's a very nice Gragas Q. Vayne and Gragas have been poked down to half HP. I know that my auto attack range is much further than Vayne. So I land one attack here, and it's a crit from my passive and a volley. She turns around immediately, and she just gets hit by one auto attack and dies. Now this sends... They have no damage yet. They have 1 Q from the Gragas barrel. Zed's full HP. I think he's about to go in here. Flash engage from the Gragas. Boom. Now this is a free tower. However, if you're looking at the death timers at this point, they're starting to respawn. Lissandra's here with home guards. Zed gets caught. I tried to turn around and help out. I stupidly do that. Get myself killed for it. Very messy team fight considering that some of us had Baron. We got 1 tower for it. Well, 2 technically if you include this one. But this could have gone a lot nicer if we played that out better. Elise manages to pick up a kill here. And this is where they're just making silly mistakes. Elise manages to get Dragon as well. She did a really nice play here. And apart from that Dragon, not much actually happens for a good few minutes. Basically we're waiting for the Baron to respawn in 2 minutes time. So just some wave clearing goes along. We try and create some picks. Some poke. Cannon goes in. And basically that got traded 1 for 1. And now 2 for 1 for Gragas died there. I'm still not back into the lane yet, so I'm nowhere near yet. I've got a Banshees as well. That's something to take note of slightly later on. Banshees is really good against for 2 reasons. They haven't really got much to clear away from, and every ability that on their team I want to block. I want to block the Thresh Hook, I want to block the Vi ult, I want to block Gragas ulti. So pretty much every ability there I want to block, even Lissandra ult, if she just for whatever reason accidentally uses that first. So we pick up a Baron here for free. They're completely out of position for it. We've got the timer on it, we've got it all covered. Baron is free. So now we're just closing out the game now. It's just there's the Banshees getting popped from the Thresh Hook. I played slightly reckless there, but if you have a Banshees you can kind of do that. Using a Hawk Shot whenever I can to try and isolate vision. But now I missed my area here. If this arrow were to land, excuse me, this fight would have gone way easier. That's the price you pay when you try to engage with your ulti sometimes. However, my team decided to follow up on the bad ulti, and this is what can happen if you follow up on a bad ulti. It's messy. We get 2 for 2 right here so far. I try and come around the side, get some more volley poke down. They're relatively low health, half almost on all. We're full health with Baron. Tower is relatively easy to get. Gragas, even though he can kill all the minions, it doesn't really matter. They at least did some good zoning here. We've got 2 inhib towers down now. No inhibs down. This is the first inhib that we get down in the game. Got some nice poking, don't want to overextend too much. We come around here, then immediately notice that their death timers are extremely close. So we won't be able to get this inhib, we back off, don't want to make the same mistake as last time. And here's a very cheeky play here. What we did was, let me just rewind it in case you missed that. So I called out for my team that let's just hide in this brush. They're going to want to push the waves out. A lot of teams push out the waves so that it gives us some breathing space. They thought we'd gone back. Vayne flashes, instantly dies. This gives us a very nice opportunity to get down this inhib. They're all spread out, they're 2 mid. We can just storm this down. And that's another inhib down. Kite them back, we don't need to follow up. We tried to do another cheesy thing again. Waited here for about, I think, a good minute. And now here's another big thing that happened. Zillion and Zed kited around 4 members of their team for a good 30 seconds. And because we didn't actually recall from laughing in this brush here, it gives us an opportunity to get these towers down. So there's one tower down there. Some more random fighting happens here. I managed to get a really nice arrow and Vayne here, in which that Vayne does die. It's quite close. It's quite close. Nice flash in from Kennen here, finishes her off. Boom. Meanwhile, in their base, they've got super creeps in their base. At this point, you don't really want to go back because you've got super creep pressure. And we've still got some of the Baron buff left. I've still got my Banshees. I'm not too scared right now. I know I'm strong. Just keep poking them down. Keep pushing their waves in. The super creeps at this point, 2 sets of super creeps can cause a hell of a lot of pressure. Gragas has the Zhonya's. I do die here though. There's a flash. Another flash. These 2 flashes. 2 Zhonya's. My team manages to kill Vi. They have to go back and heal. And there's no towers at the Nexus, they're just getting kills now for the KDA. And my team are now able to just finish the game. So, I hope that gave you some advice in what to do when you're playing particularly a marksman without escape. Hopefully it gave you some advice on positions. I did have throw in 1 or 2 mistakes there, which hopefully you can learn from. And just generally, you gotta work with your team. When you're playing someone like Ashe, you have to work with your team and use your arrow accordingly. And I missed a few. I also hit a few. And the ones that you hit have to be key. If they hit the tank, you gotta tell your team to back off. Unless you're miles ahead. If you follow up an arrow that misses, you gotta back off. As you saw in this team fight that happened in this area around here. Apologies for the victory screen. There was a fight around here, I can't remember the exact time. But you don't want to follow up a missed arrow. We ended up going for 2 for 2. And considering our main engage in our team is an arrow, that's another really good reason why to play Ashe. If you feel like your team has no engage, an arrow is definitely one of the better tools out there. So yeah, hopefully this gave you some help, and if you enjoyed this video, let me know. I'll try and basically this is a taster. I don't know the correct word, but just to see how these videos do. And I do stream Twitch TV Bizzleberry, and hopefully I'll see you there soon. I stream pretty much almost every day, so yeah, hopefully it helped, and have a good day / evening, and see ya on the field of justice maybe. Bye bye.